Ah, don't go in the sewer, Georgie. The spooky clown gonna get you. See? What did I tell you? Spooky clown. What's the matter, Rosie? Don't worry. Sewer clowns don't actually exist. Not like closet clowns. This movie isn't scary at all. It's Halloween. I need something scary, you know? Like the kind of scares that I had as a kid. Wait, that's it. I could just review the stuff that scared me as a kid. That's perfect, right?
I don't know, that sounds a little subjective.
Shut up, closet clown. Horror movies these days just don't do it for me. And it's not because I don't scare easy. Far from it. When I was a kid, I was scared of everything. The dark, monsters, you name it. And since about 90% of what I watched as a kid was animated, that's where most of the scares came from. But as I grew up, it just became that if a movie couldn't make me feel the fear that I remember from my childhood, I would just sort of dismiss it. I know it's an unfair and frankly very subjective standard, but hey, it is what it is. Which is why today, I'm looking at 3 scary cartoon moments from my childhood. It would have been more, but I just ran out of time before Halloween. You want to know what's really scary, kids? Time management. Yeah, whatever. Cut to the feckin' title card.
I tell you it's all in your mind. Doobie 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 ruff ruff. All in your mind. It's all in your mind. Doobie 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 ruff ruff. All in your mind.
Number 3. The Monster Under the Bed from Rugrats. Oh, come on, Paddy, you're probably saying to yourself, Rugrats. The scariest thing in that show was all the child neglect. But to be fair, it did have its occasional moments of spookiness. One of those moments came in the episode Under Chucky's Bed. So the plot goes like this. Chucky gets a new bed, but doesn't like it because it's too big.
I can't believe they expect me to sleep in this thing.
Listen here, you little bollocks. I slept in a single bed for 29 goddamn years, and you get a queen size from the age of 2 onwards? If you weren't a cartoon character, I'd murder you. Sorry, I was just working through some stuff. Anyway, Chucky thinks that there's a spooky monster under his bed, which later just turns out to be a jumper. But it's a spooky jumper. Ooh, fuck it. The scary part of the episode actually comes later, when Angelica, being the bitch that she always is, tells the babies about a boy named Barnaby Jones getting eaten by the monster under his bed.
Cake and ice cream? Oh boy! And they never saw little Barnaby Jones again.
Seriously, I don't know whether it was the sound effects or the fact that you never actually see the monster, but this scared me so much when I was a kid. In fact, this scene scared me so much when I was a kid that I would actually jump from my bed to the door just so I didn't have to put my feet anywhere near the floor. I jumped from that bed and hit my head, and then Jill would die shortly after. What? Basically what I'm saying is that it was a persistent problem when I was a kid, but, you know, I just grew up and eventually got over it, you know? I realized that monsters don't actually exist. Well, you know, except for Republicans, but they're not under my bed. They're in the closet. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
All in your mind.
Number 2. The Pirate Ghost from Garfield in Disguise. Okay, so this one is technically a cheat because it is a Halloween special. But then again, it is Garfield, so anything scary is usually undercut by his dry, sarcastic tone.
You're probably wondering what I'm doing with this pumpkin on my head.
Wahoo! There's a pumpkin on your head. I hadn't noticed.
So it's Halloween time, and Garfield finds out that he can go trick-or-treating and get free sweets. I'm not really sure why he only learned about this now, but I like to think it's because he spends most of his life in a diabetic coma, only waking up to shove more lasagna in his fat face. So Garfield and Odie go out dressed like pirates and get into all sorts of shenanigans. It's your pretty standard Halloween special, but it does have some really great musical numbers in it. One song in particular hits a little too close to home for my liking.
I may be lazy, I may be fat, I don't do laps, and I do not chat. I may be selfish, yeah, and all of that.
It's like looking into a feckin' mirror. So Garfield, being the greedy asshat that he is, decides to steal a boat so they can find more houses. But they get caught up in the current and wind up at a spooky old house.
Nice touch.
Bad touch. So they wander into the house and discover something even more terrifying than pirate ghosts. Wilford Brimley!
Shut up, you two! That's enough to stop an old man's ticker.
I loved you in the thing, Mr. Brimley. You just don't stay out in the cold too long. It's bad for your diabetes. So Will tells them that 100 years ago, a group of pirates buried their treasure on this island, and that they vowed to come back for it, even from beyond the grave.
They vowed to return for the treasure 100 years from Halloween night, at the stroke of midnight.
Wait, wouldn't that technically make it November 1st? Your story's full of holes, old man! Wait a minute. Spooky Island, pirate ghosts, a comical talking animal motivated solely by food? God damn it, if this old man turns out to be a cat person, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, that made my mind up. Come on, Odie, let's blow this joint. You want to come too?
Wow, he's pretty spry for a man whose body no longer creates insulin. Garfield was offering to take you with them and instead you decide to strand them there? Looks like your pancreas isn't the only internal organ that doesn't work anymore. But hush now. There's spookiness about. Okay, look, I know I sound like a broken record at this point, but this sequence terrified me when I was a kid. The slow build-up, the music, the imagery, it just scared the crap out of me. Hell, I'll fully admit it, this scene still gives me the chills. Though it does become a lot less scary when you sort of put any thought into it, like, why are they both skeletons and ghosts? That doesn't make any sense.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech. You'll shake and shudder in surprise when you hear these zombies shriek.
All in your mind.
And finally, number 1. The Bunyip song from Dot and the Kangaroo. This movie, it's hard to even describe because it's the scariest cartoon I remember from my childhood. Scarier than, like, all the others combined. But it's not a scary movie. It's an environmental film. Dot and the Kangaroo is an Australian-made 70s animated movie about a young girl who gets lost in the outback and meets up with a friendly kangaroo. And together they have all sorts of adventures learning about animals. It's garbage. But at about the 40-minute mark, Dot goes into a cave. And the kangaroo tells her a story about a monster named the Bunyip. And then, oh god, just watch.
Oh, the Bunyip's very bad, and the Bunyip's very bold, and they tell me that the Bunyip's now 1,000 years old. So you better come home quickly, and you better hide very soon, or the Bunyip's going to get you in the bun.
This is the scariest thing I have ever seen in a children's cartoon. And it comes right the hell out of nowhere. And once it's over, we go right back to the kitty crap. Oh, okay. Well, you just go back to Singing with the Birds. If you need me, movie, I'll just be over in the corner. I mean, of course, this movie doesn't still scare me. I mean, that would just be silly. I mean, what's scary still about this movie except for the imagery and the music and everything?
So you better come home quickly, and you better hide very soon, or the bunyip's going to get you. In the bunyip.
Well, this review seems to have hit a little bit of a snag. Mostly because Bunyip is still incredibly fucking terrifying. What the hell, movie? What's even the message here? Be nice to the environment or the Bunyip will fucking eat you? I just thought we were having a fun adventure in the outback. And then you go pull this shit? Can't handle it. This is spooky. Forget climate change. If you tell people we need to lower carbon emissions or else the Bunyip will eat them, we might just get somewhere as a society. How is it possible? How is it possible that this song is still as scary today as it was when I was a kid? In fact, it might even be scarier. And you know what? I think that that's okay. Being an adult isn't about never being scared. It's about dealing with your fear in a rational sense. Not, building a blanket fort to hide you from the monsters. I guess I still have a long way to go. But, hey, that's progress, alright? I'm PaddyOtaku. Happy Halloween.
When it's weird and dark and scary and strange, and you're scared so stiff you forget your name. One time or another I felt the same. Imagination is to blame. I tell you it's all in your mind. Doobie 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 doobie.